What's up guys, it's Justin from WRXDaily. I've got our 2023 WRX behind me today. Ever since this car came out, it's been missing something, and we're going to be addressing that in today's video with the MSP STI style paint matched rear spoiler. If you didn't see our last video, we just installed all of the taillights that we have for the VB WRX, so go check out that video. The trunk of this car, it's just lackluster, it's boring. We installed the MSP STI style carbon fiber trunk spoiler on this car a few years ago, but we're due for an upgrade. So we're gonna get this thrown on. We've got a gurney flap for it. We're gonna show you guys the side fins that we have. We're gonna get all that put on in today's video. So let's get right into it. All right, let's walk through what comes with this spoiler. Everyone always asks, does this come with templates? It will come with the templates and the hardware, so you don't need to go to the store and get anything for this installation. You're gonna have your double-sided tape, and then this is a 3-piece spoiler. So you've got the main spoiler here, you've got your base plates, and then these are just some plastic hardware covers. One thing to note is a lot of the other spoilers on the market are 5-piece. So this is not going to be built in. I think this looks better, it's easier to install, and so it's just something to keep in mind when you're buying an STI spoiler. But let's look at all the tools that we need to actually get this put on the car. So we've got our drill, basically a screwdriver. We've got our step bit. We're gonna be using this to actually drill out those holes into our trunk. Kind of nervous for that, but we'll get it done. We've got our sockets, drill bits, and then we've got some glue gun, some fishing line. This is just for removing an old spoiler if you've got that on the vehicle. We've got our proper PPE, and then you're gonna want some painter's tape, masking tape for drilling those holes into the paint so you don't chip it. A little more involved, but these are all the things that you're gonna need for this installation. So if you have a heat gun, it might be useful. I'm gonna take the heat gun, I'm gonna work it kind of along the 3M tape that's under here. Once I can feel it's heated up, I'm gonna take a piece of fishing line and I'm going to slip it under here and work that fishing line down just to kind of loosen up that tape and start to work it off the car. So we're gonna do that right now. So we got the trunk spoiler off the car. As you can see, it's gonna leave behind some residue. It's just gonna collect dust and dirt underneath it. There's no way to avoid that. And so that's why I got the Goo Gone. I'm gonna hit this with Goo Gone, give it a little polish, clean this up, and then we can work on putting the new spoiler on the car. Once you got that all cleaned off, if you do have a spoiler already, we're just gonna come in here and take all these pop clips out. So the first step of the spoiler is going to be putting on your 3M gasket tape. So I'm just going to start up here in this corner. I'm just going to try to make it flush to the spoiler. Just take your time, work your way around it. So we've got our gaskets on, and now it's time to put the spoiler together. So I've got my hardware here. That'll come in a little plastic baggie, and it's a 10mm, or you can just take a screwdriver, and you're basically just gonna set this up here, and then you can see the holes if we can get the camera over top of them, and you're just gonna screw the hardware right into there. Don't over tighten it, just snug it up, and then we'll go to the other side. Definitely gonna want a second set of hands holding this, but I also realized that this setup is probably the easiest. The screwdriver, it's just falling out of, so I put it in an extension, put it in the socket, and then you can kinda slowly snake it down into the hole. Try to align it and then just twist it into place. So the next part, you're gonna take your painted piece here and line it up. And then these are gonna be self-tapping screws. So there's not gonna be holes here, but that's okay. These are gonna tap right into there. We're gonna take our impact driver, and then you're just gonna drive the screws into the holes. I've got my Allen, and I'm just going to get this in here and tighten these down until they basically stop.
Once you have your spoiler together, you're gonna get a 5/16 drill bit, and then you're gonna take a look at this top hole. This is gonna be the one that you drill first. We got our holes drilled in, and then I put a hole through the template that you can see here. And so we're going to align the hole in the template up with the hole in the trunk. And then I recommend putting a couple more pieces around it so it doesn't shift, and we'll have that perfectly lined up for the other holes. And we're not going to drill the outside one because we don't want to hit the weather stripping underneath the trunk. So we're going to start with the inside hole first, and then we'll do the outside one after this. For the last one, I popped the trunk and then I put this microfiber under it, because what you don't want to do is drill into the seal or the weather stripping on the trunk. And so I just put my folded up microfiber underneath there, and then you can kind of grab your drill, lean against the trunk, and just drill through the top layer of sheet metal in the trunk. One little trick to avoid chipping your paint when you put these holes through is to put a little painter's tape underneath the template, and that's just going to help the drill bit go through the trunk a little smoother and avoid chipping your paint. And then once you have the top layer of sheet metal drilled through, I open the trunk, and then you can drill through that bottom piece again, that way you don't hit that seal, and then we'll be good to go.
So we're almost ready to slide our spoiler on, but there's going to be this spacer that's going to go between this piece of sheet metal and the outside piece. And so you're going to want to make sure that this goes in there. Now we're going to put the spoiler in first, but I'm just showing you guys now how to get to it. Some people like to weave it through here. I think that's pretty hard. If you can come through the back of here and put it into place. And so we'll try to show you guys that, but this is a very crucial step, because otherwise when we go to tighten this down, we just don't want that sheet metal to just continue to bend. So this is super essential on this install. The next thing that we're gonna do is enlarge this hole. That way we can fit the washer through it. So I've got a step bit here, and I'm gonna go to, I don't know, probably 5/8, 11/16, right around there. Just enough so that we don't enlarge the outside hole. And this is going to allow us to get the washer through. So now we're ready. I pulled you can see my 3M tape back a little bit just so that we can pull those later. Not all the way, but just enough so that you can get access to it. And then you'll definitely need 2 sets of hands for this part. And you're just going to kind of align the holes on each side. You're gonna have to adjust it a little bit until it goes through all of them. You're gonna have to pull to get it lined up. But eventually, it's gonna go through. And then we'll start threading in some spacers and nuts. Push. Okay, so we drilled out our hole and we popped the spoiler on, and now I'm just gonna walk through the installation hardware for you guys. So we recommend starting up here. This is gonna be the crush washer, and then make sure you got that spacer in there. So I put the spacer in, then I put the crush washer, and then I put the nut on, and I snug that down. And then you're just gonna go down to these two. One thing you wanna make sure before you put any hardware on is when you pop the spoiler on, check your fitments. You might have to make a hole a little bit bigger. You just might have to adjust some of these hole sizes so that you can get your sockets through and your hardware through. So put it on, make sure everything lines up. If you have to make adjustments, make adjustments. Then reinstall the spoiler and put all the hardware on. That's what we did. It makes it super easy to get this tightened up. And once you're done with that, before you fully tighten these on, you can come up here, peel your 3M. That way you get a nice seal down here, keeps all the weather and junk out. Tighten everything up, and voila. Can you do this yourself? 100%. This is the first time that I've drilled holes, installed a spoiler like this. I do recommend having another set of hands just to help you hold things in place and move it, but it'll come with instructions, so always follow those paper instructions. It'll come with all the hardware, comes with the templates. So absolutely, if you are 1 or 2 people, and you have the patience and the focus to do this, there's no reason that you can't get this installed on your VB. If you guys want to make your VB WRX look as cool as ours, you can head over to the website at WRXDaily.com or go to the link in the description. We'll have the spoiler there. Again, this is such an awesome upgrade for the VB. These should have came from the factory with this spoiler, but they didn't. And so we've got all the color options and spoiler options for you guys on the website. So go check those out. Another thing I want to showcase are some accessories that we do have for these STI spoilers. We've got some spoiler fins. Now these are obviously not the right paint color. These are for the VA K1X, but we're getting all of these accessories made for the VB right now. They're in production. So we're just gonna show you guys kind of the mock-up of what these might look like. So these are gonna go on the side here. They add some aggressive styling. They're super easy to put on and take off. These are really sweet. And so I'll just give you guys kind of a couple shots of what that might look like. These are gonna be on the website. And then we've also got a ton of different gurney flaps. So same thing. These are technically for the VA, but the fitment is perfectly fine for the VB. It's just the paint code will not match. But we have these in carbon fiber. So if you want to get one now, you can get a carbon fiber one. We're gonna have all the paint codes coming. So if you're a sunrise yellow person, if you're one of those 250 people that have those cars, we've got all of this stuff coming in sunrise yellow. All the VB paint codes will be on our website. So if you want a gurney flap, carbon fiber, paint match, whatever, I think this is another cool addition to this STI spoiler. You guys can get those on the website as well. One of the main reasons to go with an MSP versus some of the other brands is going to be the quality. The paint match on these is amazing. They come with the instructions. They're well manufactured. And again, we have a lot of those paint codes that a lot of the other brands aren't going to have. So you guys can go to our website at WRXDaily.com for all your Subaru needs. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.